it gets broken down, which is a good thing because otherwise you just stay drunk, right? Forever, right? Maybe some, well, actually, it would go every time you pissed, right? A little would come out, but you would stay drunk quite, you know. It would be a good thing, be cheaper at project. But, so, that's one source of alcohol dehydrogenase. Another is this: the stomach secretes alcohol dehydrogenase. The stomach. Now, here's the deal. When you drink alcohol, it goes in your stomach, then it goes in your small intestine, and it goes wherever. If you drink alcohol while you're eating, the contents of what you drank will stay in your stomach longer. Here is the 3 words you need to know. Delayed gastric emptying. Write it down. Delayed gastric emptying. Delayed gastric emptying. I'm drinking this. It's going to go in my stomach. It's not going to stay there very long. It's going to go in my small intestine. If I were eating food, those sphincters, right, at the top and bottom of the stomach, are going to be closed. And they're going to close until it tells you that you digested whatever's in there. If you have a steak dinner, right, or something fatty, then it's going to stay in there longer. The longer that content stays in there, the more the alcohol will be broken down before it goes into the blood. Yes? And that is it, and that is only it. And it is subtle, it really is. And so I will say this, I've thought about this often since I learned this, whenever I learned this, is that I don't think, like, drinking alcohol and red vines is actually going to help you at all, right? So I think the red vines is like, you know, simple carbohydrates, right? They're just going to go right through you. So I don't think your stomach's going to delay the gastric emptying for a while. I think you need something like protein or something. You know, that's what I think. But I haven't looked at the studies. You can tell I've had red vines and beer before in many occasions. So it's not a good combination. I love red vines. But, so that's that. Okay, so I'll let you know. You've all heard of this, yes? And I'll tell you this, you have to do it when you're drinking, right? You don't like have 7 beers and say, well, I want to sober up, I'm going to have a cheeseburger now, or 2 cheeseburgers. It's too late, right? You have to have it while you're eating. This is like your sponge analogy. Oh, well, I just eat some now and we'll sop it all up. Okay, if that were the case, that would make sense, but no. Delayed gastric emptying keeps it in contact with the gastric alcohol dehydrogenase for a longer period of time. The more it is in contact with it, the more it gets broken down before it enters the bloodstream. Essentially, you're eating less, consuming less alcohol. That is something you could actually say at a bar, right, and not be like a nerd. Yes? Some of this other stuff, you start talking about actin, myosin, the power. Well, maybe that'd be all right, but some stuff. So let's talk about the stomach secretions. There's an important one. By the way, I kind of like this diagram. I really do. Take a look at this. Pause. What do we just say? In the mouth, yes. Swallowing and chewing. That's movement. S is secretions. Saliva with lipase, the salivary gland, as well as amylase. Digestion of carbohydrates and a little bit of fat. And no absorption. We know this is wrong. No typical absorption. In the stomach, and here's where we're at now, and then we'll move to the small intestine probably next week. You have mixing, the peristaltic mixing and propulsion. Secretions, let's look at them. Hydrochloric acid, right? Stomach acid, yes. Pepsinogen. Gastric what? Lipase. Oh, good. Blue lipase here too. Mucus. Bicarbonate. Gastrin. Histamine. Now, this is where I tell you, this is where a lot of classes get a little too confusing, right? I'm not going to talk about all these because they're not that important. Mucus, what does mucus do?
It lines the stomach.
And what's the purpose of that?
So the stomach acid doesn't.
I mean, I could not imagine food going down your esophagus, your stomach, and it was like grating, right? Rubbing as it went through, yes? It keeps it lubricated, yes? It prevents a lot of wear and tear on that. What gets digested? Well, so I see lipase. What must this be? Well, this is an enzyme that breaks down protein. Oh, by the way, pepsinogen. Pepsinogen. Inactive, thank you. We're going to talk about that. We're going to finish up with this, just this, right? It's inactive. So we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about HCl, and that's pretty much the two things we're going to talk about, that and HCl. Okay, these get digested, what gets absorbed? Well, but look at it, notice what's interesting about it. Lipid soluble, some drugs. Are there any transporters in the stomach? Apparently. Well, no. These are lipid soluble. These are hydrophobic, so they don't need a transporter. Are there any transporters? Apparently not, yes? So that's got to tell you, apparently there's nothing gets transported to when? Okay, I mean, that's, everything else is just built up to the small intestine. Because if you don't have the small intestine doing its job, then you just didn't eat, really. You really did nothing. Okay. So let's talk about some secretions. And we're going to talk about pepsinogen, and we're going to talk about HCl. Let's talk about HCl. Great. Have we seen this before? This is a parietal cell. Secreting what? Okay. Now, here's what I've been told. I've been told that this is the most energetic cell in the body. So if it's not D, it's in the top 10. You know what I mean by that? This uses more ATP than any other cell, it's in the top 10. Now let me just tell you, what's the pH of the body?
7.
What's the pH of the stomach? 2. 2. You go from 7 to 6, tenfold. 6 to 5, another 100. 5 to 4, 1,000. 4 to 3, 10,000. 3 to 2, 100,000. There's 100,000 times more hydrogen here than there is in the blood. Did you hear me? 100,000 times more. That's a lot of energy to pump that. This is good because what I'm going to say next is going to apply to the exam we just took. So, once again, where do you get the hydrogen? From what?
Water.
And?
Carbon.
Yes? Carbon dioxide. Look at what happens. I don't like how they did this, but I'll just show you. They showed you that the OH came to this to give you this. Yes? And then this just made that. So basically it's this plus this gives you this plus this. I don't like how they did that. Right. But that's how they did that. Yes? Now, what happens to the hydrogen? Well, it's actively taken out in exchange for potassium. The potassium goes through its leach channel. And then, what's this over here? Have we ever seen this before? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Other than bringing chloride in, why is this important?
So it'll keep the carbon dioxide concentration lower in there.
As this leaves, yeah, well, I did this one. Here's what I did on my other diagram. It's the same diagram. Yeah, that's right. I just drew the H2O here. H2O plus this gives you this and this, right? And these are the products. The products are reactants. So as this leaves, what happens to CO2? It drops. Okay? More CO2. So now, well, another way to look at this. As this leaves, you have to make more of this. And when you make more of this, what else do you make at the same time?
Hydrogen.
Okay, so this is one thing that is a subtlety that people were missing on the exam. When this leaves, you got to replace this. Anytime you make more of this, you're making more H+. So I will say this. Without this leaving, there's only so much H+ you have. So I don't care how much energy you have to pump it out, right? You just have so much. By this leaving, you get more of this. And so this is something that's going to be asked on the next exam because I just want you to understand, so that concentration gradient here, because the gradient's not driving you, you're actually pushing it out. But by getting rid of this, you're allowed to make more of that. And that's what I want you to know about that.
And it doesn't go by gradient because it's so acid.
Well, no, because of this, right? Remember, we didn't have one of these before, right? We didn't have you actually pumping out, we didn't have that for the red blood cell, right? We had that for the cell in the intestine, right? Acidosis alkalosis, we had that one. But you didn't have that with the red blood cell, right? So the gradient's not driving this. This is being actively pushed out. By getting rid of this, though, you're making more of this. Because every time you make one of these, you have to make one of these. It's like every time you strip down a car, yes, you get 4 wheels. Yeah, I mean, right, every time you strip down another, you get 4 wheels. You always get that in combination. Or for every wheel, you get a hubcap. And so that's it. Every time you make more of these, one more of these, you get one more of this. And now you just have more of this to get rid of. So this is how you make hydrochloric acid. And what are these? Now, what does hydrochloric acid do?
You said before that was a buffer for blood.
Hydrochloric acid? No, bicarbonate is a buffer.
Bicarbonate.
Bicarbonate. What does hydrochloric acid do?
Oh.
What does stomach acid do?
Break food.
Nope. It doesn't. I'll show you what it does. If I drop that picture in here. It, what is that picture? Oh, here it is. Well, I gotta see a book. Let me see a book.